All right, apparently we are live.
That was so awkward.
How else do you want me to say it? All right, well, welcome to In the Garden with Gideon, Marlatt, Jake Hughes. We have a very, very special guest with us today. Yeah. You heard from Tim Morgan last week. This week, we're hearing from the very own, well, how do I say this? Our very own, the very honorable. I combined the two.
It's like the very honorable.
The very own
okay.
Jack Whitacre.
Hello.
Jack.
How you doing, Jack?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Yeah.
The very own.
Yeah, the very own.
I'm honored.
That's your nickname from now on. All right.
Great. Yeah.
All right. So Jack is part of the herb garden with us.
Yes.
And he's been with us since the beginning of the herb garden, right?
Not quite. No.
Not quite? Okay.
No. He
Close,
joined
not
afterwards, yeah.
So how'd you find the herb garden and how'd you become acquainted with us?
Yeah. So I originally, I had gotten in, like I knew about the herb garden. I had gotten in touch with the landlord before I came to NSA. But then I ended up making a mid-school year switch. And so I contacted the herb garden again. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, literally right after Thanksgiving of my first Nicaea term, I moved in. And thanks to Gideon who helped me with a lot of stuff there. So.
I'd also like to point out that Gideon just did skirt.
Sorry.
Without any prompt whatsoever. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I just heard midterm switch and I was like, oh, juking on the court. Okay.
Yeah.
Therefore, skirt.
Skirt.
Yeah, I apologize already.
No, it's okay. We're definitely keeping that in.
Yeah, if I could describe Jack in any way, there's a reason why they call it Jack.
Oh. Tell him the joke you made earlier.
No, well, you have to intro. You have to play the intro music. You got to like...
Should I put on some music here?
There's a whole setup to that.
Yes.
I'm trying to find some...
I thought it was this.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tell the joke.
Well, Gideon, you said something first though, right?
Yes. Where'd
it go?
It continues from where it left off.
And welcome to the bodybuilder episode.
There's a reason they call it jacked. Good grief.
I'm not on that episode.
It's not because of me.
Yeah. I don't think that's...
Actually, something that I found out recently. Did you guys know that, if you use Jake as a verb, it means to incarcerate?
I'm sorry, what?
Well,
I looked it up. Is to Jake as a verb. Just like, you have been jaked. It means you have been incarcerated. I only found this out pretty recently, so...
What about Gideon?
The more you know.
The Gideon?
Yeah. That sounds...
To be Gideon?
To be Gideon is a different thing.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. I don't know. That sounds sus. I do know my name translates to the Great Destroyer.
Ooh.
Which, it sounds cool.
Manly.
It does not match me at all.
The Great Destroyer. Yeah.
I don't know. So,
yeah, the name Jacob also means he who grasps the heel, as I found out in Genesis.
Yeah.
It also can mean deceiver, which is, because of the Jacob and Esau story.
well, and the grasping the heel, when you do that, you're deceiving. That sort of deal.
Is that what they say?
No. I'm just trying to draw a connection.
I was going to
There's
say,
just
that's
no
true.
connection.
That's very profound. All right. So, Jack, let's talk a little bit about sports, because I know you're a big sports guy.
Yes.
You were the one that convinced us all to watch the World Cup.
Yes.
Even though soccer is
Gay?
not well.
Well, okay.
No, sorry. Besides
Right now you're
Jack,
not wrong, but
besides Jack, I think I'm the one who
Let's
likes
go off
FIFA.
Why don't we just
Gideon
go off
culture.
of that culture?
Oh, Gideon's culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gideon's culture.
You heard
Jack,
it from the mouth of babes, people.
Jack, is soccer gay, Jack?
I mean, more now than they've been in the past, I guess.
Again, from the mouth of babes.
Take that, Ronaldo.
I mean, all sports have kind of gone in that woke direction, which is kind of sad, but
Yeah.
some more than others, obviously. But it's still fun though.
Is soccer like your sport? Is that the sport that you gravitate towards?
It's the sport I play. I'd say in terms of watching and following, baseball's my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but whatever the temperature is right now, like that's probably my lifetime batting average, .040 or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just wasn't any good at hitting, so.
Yeah.
And my brother's
I know the feeling.
very good at soccer, so I just ended up playing with him. Yeah.
Did you ever play baseball back in the day?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Little League baseball.
Yeah. Oh, so great.
Man.
Yeah. Free
I-
snow
those
cone.
Even
Free snow cone at the end of the game.
free snow cones.
Yeah, how many
Yeah.
outs? Grape. I'm gonna get grape.
Yeah.
No, I don't know these. As much as I liked baseball, I've never played it.
Mm. You didn't have the
Professional.
Little League experience.
No,
It's
no.
an experience. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I bet.
There's just so many like tangible elements of it that make it fun. Just like all the sounds of the ball hitting the glove.
Oh,
That little kind of tingle in your hands when you hit a foul ball that kind of goes wrong and you're just like, ooh.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I haven't played it like in a organized fashion, like Little League.
Okay, yeah.
But I have played it.
Yeah.
And there's just something to that, like outfield,
Oh yeah.
There's
leather
something
glove.
so freeing about
Tracking down a fly ball, yeah.
I mean, even though it's a springtime sport, it feels so much like summer.
Although I will say, Little League outfield is fun. Not fun.
Yeah. I did Little League when I was, I think, 10 or 11.
Nobody
and
hits it there.
Coach took one look at me and put me in right field.
Yeah, exactly.
You any good?
You're
Well,
not-
I don't know. I've never played before.
Oh, good to know. Outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely something the game
Eventually,
could do
I got to the point where I was moved to center field, and that was a big
nice.
moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah, center field's a little better. yeah.
2 feet closer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I can do a little bit more than nothing this time.
Yeah. Might get to throw someone out of home.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a ground ball coming towards you.
Yeah. 10 and 11-year-olds are known for hitting really long distances, as we all know.
Oh, yeah.
So we were a nice
the
bunch
backflips.
out there in the outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, it was like you go with friends to the baseball field and just
Yeah.
crack a few.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty fun.
catch a few. It's fun.
I know we're maybe kind of changing the subject a little bit, but that's what I think makes the like a lot of soccer leagues really interesting is the issue of relegation. And like because if you're a last place team in baseball, then pretty much all your games are honestly kind of meaningless unless you just want to kind of play spoiler to another good team, which can happen. There can be some fun in that, but if you're a bottom rung team in like English Premier League or whatever, like you gotta get it together, man. There's so much pressure. You gotta make sure you stay out of the bottom 3 because you're not gonna be able to play in this league next year if you don't. There's that added pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine being at the bottom of the list and it's soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Imagine having that type of humiliation.
You're the gayest of the gays.
Yeah. Like if we brought relegation to baseball, like we wouldn't even know who the Pittsburgh Pirates are. Like they'd be in like, like some pony league somewhere.
Yeah, you were
relegated
proposing something the other day. Like you were saying relegation in pro baseball.
Yeah, I mean, my dad and grandpa, like we've kind of like talked about this like kind of on and off for a while. Like what if this happened? Like it'd also be interesting because like you have the aspect of like there's these like small teams that like an English soccer that maybe haven't been good for a while.
Yeah.
Teams like I don't know. I can think of a few Premier League teams like Huddersfield or Leeds United or something like kind of more obscure places that kind of get a chance to grapple with some of the big guys like Manchester City. Like if the I don't know. Like the Toledo Mud Hens or the Round Rock Express or the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rumble Ponies.
You're really flexing your knowledge.
No, okay, sorry.
And that's why we brought them on.
If you haven't looked up a website of minor league baseball team names, do it because it's absolutely hilarious. You're like, how did this happen? Who thought this was a good idea?
Have you heard about the bananas?
The Savannah Bananas. Oh
Savannah
my gosh.
Bananas.
Yes.
Savannah Bananas.
Dude, they're kind of crazy.
Their name
sounds like
is
something
their
you
name
would
is the
shout
least
in
crazy
exclamation.
thing about them.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, what is it? They have they invented this whole thing called banana ball. I have to look again. There's this article.
That was my nickname in high school.
But they like, I don't know.
There's
They
so
all
many
like weird.
nicknames for you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know you love that joke.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just
Every
like
time.
an obscure thing, and Jake's like,
Yeah.
my nickname in high school.
Jake and I share the same choir corner, and so I hear that in my
yeah.
ear every
day.
rehearsal.
Jake, I have a feeling that you would have been like in elementary. It's been like, That was my nickname in high school. It's like, you're not even in high school.
Yeah, people who are in my high school can attest. When I was in high school, I changed the joke to that was my nickname in middle school. Elementary school, I didn't have the brains to come up with such a stupid joke. So it came about in high school.
Oh,
yeah, I was like, I can't say that was my nickname in high school.
Then he grows up and it's like, that was my nickname in college.
Yeah, right. So Jack, you were mentioning all these teams that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, like, what are your teams that you gravitate towards? Like, is it based on like where you're from? Where are you from? Let's start there. Let's start there.
I was born in Fairfax, Virginia. I lived in that area till I was like 8 years old. So my family's all from DC. So we root for all the DC teams.
The DC teams.
Yep. So Washington Nationals, Washington Commanders. There, I said it.
Are we gonna get hate mail?
Yeah, as Tony Kornheiser often says. There, I said it. Yeah.
What
Formerly known as the Redskins.
I was gonna say
until it was racist.
Excuse me.
Just say Redskins. On this show, I don't think we're that picky.
Yeah.
Just stay away from
Washington
the
Redskins,
blatant
Redskins.
stuff.
We'll never. Yeah. They were the Redskins.
If we talk about it anymore, we'll get canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, and then our basketball team stinks. They're the Wizards, Washington Wizards. Washington Capitals are pretty good. Alex Ovechkin is like in the Hall of Fame already.
Shout out to him.
Going. Yeah, what a guy.
We'll have you on the show if you're listening.
Yes. yeah. Ovi, if you're out there. Yeah.
Well, Jack, you were mentioning baseball earlier. Do you have any baseball teams that you gravitate towards? I mean, personally, the Chicago Cubs. My dad is from Chicago.
Okay, neat. Yeah.
The Chicago Cubs were the only team that I was trained to like.
Yeah,
you know, and I was part of that squad who was grieving with them since they hadn't won a World Series in like I don't know million years,
108 years,
something like that. It felt like that.
108 years.
108 years. No one World Series. You probably heard about like the goat conspiracy. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, totally. That's
dry
all.
at the bone.
Was it a goat or was it a?
Yeah, I think
it was like a farm animal of some sort.
Yeah.
Someone brought a goat into. So the Cubs were having this streak of having a good reputation.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone brought a goat into Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
There was this guy.
Ooh.
And ever since then, they have not won very many games. So there's a bunch of superstitious fans, or maybe not superstitious. Maybe it is actually true. There's a bunch of fans who are saying it's because of the goat.
Yeah.
The goat. The goat that they brought into Wrigley Field that the Cubs are not having as good of a reputation or as good as a winning streak because they haven't won a game in like 108 years.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
And then that 1 year where they won the World Series.
Everybody just decided that they were going to win the World Series that year. And they did.
The Cubs were just like, you know what? Why don't we just win one for the sake of winning one? It's been 108 years.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thirsty for one. Let's go for one.
We ain't afraid of no goat.
I'm getting like Revelation vibes, as in like the goat represents some other team that just will not let them win.
Yeah,
because they're the greatest.
The red horse is the Chicago Cubs. The white horse is the New York Mets, and
there was also the Steve Bartman game. Do you remember seeing about that?
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, so Moises Alou for the Cubs was going to go catch a fly ball down the right or left field line. I think it was like 8th or 9th inning or something. Like it would have been a big out for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I remember hearing about this.
And catches the ball.
Fan?
Yeah. Fan reaches out, catches the ball, and the outfielder gets super mad. And there's a really great 30 for 30 documentary on this I'd highly recommend. It's kind of two stories in one. So kind of half of the Bartman game and then half of the Bill Buckner era in the World Series back like in the 70s.
Yeah.
But it just goes into all like he just got so much hate from all these Cubs fans, and it just goes into the thought of like
let the fans have their fun.
Yeah,
right?
But like if you're a fan in that situation, all you see is a fly ball. It's coming your way. You're gonna reach out. You're gonna try to catch it. Like like no.
If you're not, people around you are gonna give you the hate.
Yeah, like,
exactly. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you paid the money.
I know, right?
It's like
I paid the money to be here.
It hit me in the head. Why didn't you catch it? Yeah. So it's a really fascinating story. But that was also kind of like considered part of the Cubs curse. There was that game, and that poor guy. I mean, he just had to basically go into isolation and hiding because like people were just so mad at him.
Yeah,
it's really
the
sad.
Cubs player? Or?
Yeah, and then he got a
the Cubs player or
the Cubs fan? No, the fan. The fan who tried to catch the ball.
Oh man,
the fan who caught the ball instead of the player who would have caught the ball.
It traumatized him.
Oh, they did. I mean, and then they made a very kind gesture after they won the World Series. They actually, I think, did they give him a ring or something? They gave him something, and like he sent this very kind of formal letter back, and it just like it was. It was like, okay, that's a good culmination, but also kind of heartbreaking. Just like it was obvious that like he'd been through kind of a lot in the last decade.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, very fascinating story. If you can get the documentary, I would definitely watch it.
Dude, okay, well, Cubs are all fun games and whatnot. And
yeah.
Sounds cool.
Are you gonna roast the Cubs now?
No, but I'm just saying, there's a team out there that does beat it.
Who is that?
It's for its history and legends.
Here we go.
Amazing.
Here we go.
The Dodgers.
You want to fight me, Gideon?
LA Dodgers.
I hate them. I hate them so much. I will just say that right now.
Dude, LA Dodgers. Okay.
They're the Yankees of the National League.
Oh my word.
They are.
Be quiet.
They're my Yankees. We don't. The Yankees have always been the team to hate in baseball. But they haven't.
Oh,
Jake.
I'm sorry. I didn't do anything there. Carry on.
Yeah, because my grandpa, he grew up hating the Yankees, even though he was like a DC baseball fan. But honestly, they haven't won a World Series since 2009. I was 6. I don't have a reason to hate the Yankees. They're in the other league. We play them once every 3 years. The Dodgers, I hate them with a burning passion. I love seeing them lose every year in the playoffs.
You suck.
It's fantastic.
Why?
The only World Series they won was during the pandemic year when it didn't actually count.
Oh my word.
But they're still super cocky. They're so LA. They get all the best. They steal all the best players from other
LA.
teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shots
the
being
worst.
fired right now.
Yes.
Dude,
Across the table.
Listen. Okay, also, can we remark on this last World Cup? Not World Cup.
World Series?
World Series. Like
that the Dodgers weren't in.
Well, do you know why? Because of that
the
stupid
Padres.
second cousin down the state, Padres.
Yes. Yes, that made me so happy.
I don't like the Padres.
I was rejoicing.
Here, fill me in on this. I'm not
all right.
I'm not a much of a
Dodgers.
baseball guy.
Dodgers are doing great. They're fantastic.
Okay.
What they've
They're
won.
too good for their own good.
They're too good for their own good.
Yes.
For like standard seasons, they're like.
I'm sorry, this soundboard keeps going off.
We gotta be careful about that soundboard.
Yeah.
No, okay, so they've like won. Dodgers have won
Like 100 games routinely in a
It's just
season.
like normal game season,
easy for
and
them.
they're just winning. Boom, boom,
And then
boom.
they
Just
choke.
checking them off.
Choking dogs.
And then these stupid Padres from down south, like
Yes.
like the second cousin that they are, that like only comes up to the family reunion and sometimes hangs around on the like outskirts and
one of
beats
those.
you at some game that you're like really good at, and you're
Yes.
like, oh, you just need to go away and stay away.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So they've won like.
Fantastic. They're all chanting, like the fans were all chanting that game, beat LA, beat LA.
No, they
So
suck.
great.
Oh, they suck. No, because
Rough.
Padres are have won like 30 games. They're not doing that great.
They're good now.
Well, now,
Yes.
but
Before.
then they were not doing good.
Yeah.
They were not doing that. They had
Wait,
almost
what
no
year are you
chance.
talking about? Are you talking about last year?
Yeah.
No, last year they were great. They were a great team.
Well, okay, they made it to the World Series or the playoffs.
Semifinals. Yeah, NLCS.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got beat by the Phillies who won the World Series, but yeah.
But it was like almost undeserved, just purely based off of the
I don't know.
based off of the
They've been
standard
building
season
back
games.
for a while. Well, true. Yeah, they definitely were like what? I think 80, 90 games, somewhere in that range.
They were
in terms
not.
of wins.
They were not high.
Not a
end.
top tier team. For
They
sure.
were not
Yeah.
top tier.
Yeah.
And somehow they beat
Less
out
than they should have been.
the Padres beat out Dodgers.
It's because my team.
superior team.
What a shame.
Because my team gave Juan Soto to them. That's why.
They gave us
Just-
Yeah.
no.
just one energy drink and they're done.
Doesn't LA have Trout?
That's the Angels.
Angels
Yes.
have Trout.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is also sad because he's been so good for so long, and they've only made one playoff series, and they lost that.
dude,
Their team is.
they're just choking.
Oh,
This
I
is
feel so
another.
bad for them.
This is another reason why I think that. I'm forgetting the actual professional name for it.
Yeah.
The
Baseball?
I know. Oh my gosh.
Rounders? No.
The soccer tradition.
Oh,
where you kick 'em down.
relegation?
Relegation.
Yeah.
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 Like I think that's another reason why that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get relegated,
Yeah.
like Angels would be just relegated right
Oh.
into the bottom.
Yeah.
And then like as soon as that happens,
Poor Mike Trout.
Trout would just be traded off.
Yeah.
He would just be bought out. Like
Yeah, it's true.
they wouldn't be able to pay him that much.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
could go
That's
you
the thing,
can
is,
go
like,
to the best.
Yeah, if a team like comes up from relegation and then does good in the league, like they can get enough revenue to actually like get a good player and like build around him.
Yeah. I'm actually curious, just to come back to that real quick.
Yeah.
Relegation.
Yeah.
Do you think like one of the reasons why, not the only, but one of the only reasons why we can do, why we're not doing relegation is because of those stadium size differences? Because let's be honest, like the AAA stadiums, not big.
Yeah.
Professional, way bigger.
Yeah. I think it's just, I don't know.
It's super
I haven't
top-heavy.
studied the concept of it much and how it's kind of been developed, but I feel like that was just kind of a thing with English soccer, and that's how they did it.
Yeah.
And just the major leagues just came up as its own league, and that's how they did it. And I feel like just to shake it up now would, or even in the last like 50 years to shake it up then would just be too seismic a change, I guess. Like
for baseball?
Yeah, just I don't know how so it's such a huge change. Like how could you possibly start to rearrange that into that format? Because especially considering the way the system works, like the AAA, like the affiliates, like those are specifically associated with teams that get like people get called up to those teams. So that doesn't really happen in soccer. Like if you're playing for like Millwall or something in the EPL, you don't get called up to, you don't get a call from Manchester City saying like, hey, you've been called up to our top squad. And they don't send someone else back down there. It's just like, you're just kind of acquired if you're good enough.
You know what I'm curious about is because it seems very, definitional of our American like idea of individualism. So it seems like we almost relegate our guys, like specifically, but not our teams. Because if the team doesn't do well, it stays.
Do teams mean anything anymore?
Yeah. I mean, there is something novel of like that. You get like in all kinds of movies when the guy walks into the coach's office like, "Hey son, you're going to the big leagues."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, let's go.
With the big chew.
Yeah. There's a book by John Feinstein called "Where Nobody Knows Your Name." It's about life in the minor leagues and about how like kind of exploring all the guys who like either spent years in the minor leagues and didn't make it, or the guys who maybe had just precious few moments in the major leagues. It's a really great book.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. There's a lot of stories there. And it's so different from major leagues. Like there's all this like glamour and stuff that comes with major leagues. And minor leagues, it's just you're just so like it's just you're on the road all the time.
Oh yeah.
There's all these just goofy minor league promotionals that you have to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different world there. Yeah.
I will say, as far as like just fan base goes, going to just a AAA team game, that was fun for my family growing up. That was what we did. It was just like
they're fun. Yeah.
Good times.
Over in Everett, Washington.
Okay, neat.
We have a team called the Aqua Sox.
Yeah.
It's
the Aqua Sox.
Aqua Sox.
See, this is what I was saying about minor league team name website.
Sounds like
the funny thing is, the mascot is this weird frog.
The mascots.
The mascot is some frog. Somehow they got Aqua Sox out of that.
Guys, it needs to be a frog.
I wonder how that pitch meeting went.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I got a name for a team. We're calling it the Aqua Sox. Okay, so the mascot is like some underwater creature? Well,
Exactly.
Kind of. Everybody's looking around. What a great idea.
Yeah.
A frog.
The fans are like, oh, frog. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Louisville has the Louisville Slugger bats, or Louisville bats. I think they just shortened it to the bats.
The bats.
Yeah. Which I'm actually wearing the hat with the new logo right now. Yeah.
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Representing.
It's pretty,
So.
They're pretty cool.
What
I
happened to
haven't been to a
Washington
game in a while.
Nationals?
I have other hats.
You have many hats.
I cycled them through. Yeah.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. We really appreciate it. It's always great talking with you.
Totally. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll have to have you on again sometime.
For sure.
But,
Yeah.
Is that a wrap?
but
That
yeah.
is, well, that
so
is, yeah,
we're,
well, that is
we're getting,
what
sound like
we're
a
getting down to it.
complete
So
remark, yeah.
thank you
Nice.
guys for tuning in with us. This is In the Garden with Jake Hughes, Gideon Marlatt, and Mr. Jack Whitacre.
Yes. Thank
Jack.
The very own Jack
fun.
Whitacre.
you. It's been real, gents.
It has been real.
So real.
So real.
All right.
All right, adios.
Adios.
It all came together.